The ball went to Schilling in Game 4. Any way you look at it, he dominated. 1 out away. Take a one-game lead back to the desert. Major League Baseball International welcomes you to the World Series 2001. We are back in New York. And in this city, to be the talk of the town, you've got to do something. Well, the New York Yankees are the talk of the town. This is Game 5, and the series is tied at 2-2. And the reason is a miracle performance here at Yankee Stadium by the Yankees in last night's Game 4. He is the starter tonight. Took the loss in Game 1, working just those 3 innings with 5 runs, 6 hits, but he is 4-2 in 9 career postseason starts. He will face tonight Miguel Bautista. And a vital game, obviously, because the winner of this goes up 3-2, and somebody will go up 3-2 in this series. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, a lot of people are going to say Miguel Bautista.
Well, the New York newspapers can't even get it right, because above his name in their newspaper, they had a picture of Danny Bautista, the outfielder, pinch hitter extraordinaire. Joe Torre told us he was watching the same video that we're watching here now of Bautista, trying to design a game plan. A lot of good late downward movement. The key to make him get the baseball up. If the Yankees can do that, Torre feels like they can have success. If not, maybe Bautista will have some success for Arizona.
This is his first World Series game. He is 1-1 in the postseason. He was both a starter and a reliever during the regular season. Better luck on the relief side, wins and losses. But as far as the starts were concerned, the ERA was about the same. There will be a Game 6. These will be the starters.
And that's reason enough for Arizona to have some hope. They're going back home where they have won 23 of the last 29 games they've played in Arizona, and they got the big unit picked in the first one.
Game 7, it'll be Roger Clemens and Curt Schilling if there is a Game 7.
Well, as a baseball fan, I hope we get to see those two guys hook horns.
Now we've got a Game 5 to decide who goes back to Arizona with a 3-2 lead. Mike Mussina, 30-year-old right-hander. 32-year-old right-hander. Ready to go after a 17-11 season. Womack will lead it off for the Diamondbacks in that #1 spot. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. For Womack, only a couple of hits in this World Series, 2 for 15. He has not stolen a base. Swung on and missed, 0-2. The Yankee fans are picking up right where they left off last night. Just missed outside with that. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Mussina walks few, strikes out many.
Second in the American League in ERA. 228 innings pitched this year. 214 strikeouts for Mussina.
1-2 delivery. His nickname is Moose, and you will hear the moo sound going up from Yankee fans as they even hang a couple of the moose here. Clearly outside with that pitch, 2-2. Womack got on base first 3 times in last night's game. Jumps on that one and fouls it back. But Tony Womack did not score last night, getting on with a single, a walk, and a double, and stranded all 3 times.
Really a frustrating night for him. Sacrificed in the scoring position all 3 times. Then he came up in the 7th inning with 2 men on, and he hit into a double play.
These 2 teams were 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position last night. Go figure. 2-2 delivery. Hit in the air to right. Paul O'Neill, maybe his last game at Yankee Stadium. Puts it away. He's retiring the end of this year. 1 down. Let's take a look at our MasterCard lineup for the Arizona Diamondbacks in this game 5.
A lot of missed opportunities offensively for the D-backs last night. The one guy that carried an injured team offensively the first half of the year, Luis Gonzalez, is the guy they say that needs to do it again tonight.
Got to find some runs. This World Series featuring a couple of teams bordering on the all-time combined lowest batting average in World Series history, as neither of these teams has been able to do very much offensively, but the big blows here at Yankee Stadium have been struck by the Yankees. Counsell has had just 1 for 14 in the World Series. Takes that pitch outside for a ball. He, of course, is the MVP coming off the League Championship Series for Arizona.
Yeah, that 1 for was the home run he hit off Mike Mussina in game 1. It's been a while since Counsell's done anything.
Had a reach for that one, fouls it off, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Mussina was really surprised when Counsell hit that home run in game 1. He didn't expect that kind of power. A little different approach tonight. Both of those first 2 fastballs, sinking type fastballs, trying to get some downward movement. If Counsell hits it, get him to hit it on the ground.
Mussina with a 1-1. In at third base, Brocious. Counsell will bunt if given a chance. Brocious isn't giving it to him. Swung over that one, 1-2. Game 1, the one hit he has had in the World Series.
Well, Mussina said you only hit 4 home runs all year. Here, see how far you can hit it. He had no idea Counsell could hit it that far. Put a run up on the board.
Both these teams taking advantage of their home crowds. Each have won 2 on their own home turf. Game 6 and 7, if necessary, will be back in Phoenix with a day off tomorrow. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Counsell takes that one on the bounce in the dirt. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Mussina's kind of lowered his sights a little bit. That's what it's all about. You're going to make mistakes in any sporting event that you do where there's a human element involved. The key to being successful is not to repeat those mistakes. Mussina doesn't very often.
Mussina's got a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Counsell. Brocious backs up a little at third base, and he got him. 6-time Counsell has struck out in this World Series. Behind Mike Mussina, the Yankee defense.
Tino Martinez, first base, United States of America.
My name is Alfonso Soriano, second base for New York Yankees, and I'm from Dominican Republic.
I'm Scott Brocious, third baseman, USA.
Derek Jeter, shortstop, USA.
Shane Spencer, left field, USA.
Bernie Williams, center fielder, Puerto Rico.
Paul O'Neill, right field, United States of America.
Jorge Posada, catcher, Puerto Rico.
There's the Yankee defense, which has done a fine job in the games played here at Yankee Stadium. 2 down and nobody on, and here's Luis Gonzalez.
Really been easy, excuse me, Gary, to play solid defense because the pitchers in this series have had such excellent control. In the 4 games, Arizona has just issued 8 walks. The Yankees just 9 free passes, and that includes El Duque with 3 walks in his first 3 innings last night.
And the strikeouts, Rick, have made all the difference, indicating how good the pitching is. With a strikeout here in the first inning, the Arizona Diamondbacks now have struck out 38 times through the 4 games and 2/3 of an inning, and the Yankees are right behind them at 37. I mean, that's a lot of strikeouts in 4 games. That's the total. I mean, it's been both staffs that have held the opposing teams to almost nothing. Here's a 1-0 delivery. That one to first. Tino Martinez will play it to the bag. Mike Mussina retires the Diamondbacks. Yankee Stadium, full house, 55,000 plus. Yankee lineup when we come back.
Somewhere between where you are and where you're going, there's a Super 8. See you along the way.
I break for yard sales.
I break for little old ladies.
Boys.
UFOs. I break for free oil changes.
Visit your Midas mechanic now and get a free oil change with any Midas brake job, including our lifetime brake pads or shoes, guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Sure, I sing a little. And I act up now and then.
Finesse, but now try down here.
But my most important job is running this show. It's not always easy, but LifeWise products from Radio Shack are a big help. They help keep my home, my family, and me healthier and happier.
Now, discover 20 new LifeWise products and get free information on smart choices for health and home.
Hey, busy parents deserve all the help we can get.
Mom! LifeWise products, exclusively at Radio Shack.
Did you see who took your sister? You were
This November.
Can you track him?
Yeah, he can track him. How far would you go to get back what you've lost?
Go home, you understand?
You have to kill me first.
Tommy Lee Jones, Kate Blanchett, from director Ron Howard. Missing, rated R. Starts November 19th in New York and LA. Opens everywhere November 26th.
I'm loving it, playing Monopoly. I'm hanging with my crew now, look at me. I'm not just a winner, I'm making history. Oh yeah, picking up the cash. I'm a legend, baby. My song's a smash. At every game I touch, I'm a champion. I'm just too much, y'all. Here's another layer. I order fries and want a DVD player. Like winning, play Monopoly. Best chance game at McDonald's.
I'm loving. Oh no, not grass stains again!
Ma'am, we know you have stain problems. Lose the stain and save the day with new OxiClean Active Stain Remover. New OxiClean Active is a pre-treater that starts working on tough set-in stains the moment you spray it on. That's the cleaning power of new OxiClean Active Stain Remover. Long before you add that shirt to the wash, new OxiClean Active is already starting to remove the stain. Look at this. The grass stain is gone and the colors are still bright. Use it on your worst stains like chocolate. New OxiClean Active attacks set-in stains so they lose their grip. And look at this. Use it on ring around the collar. Your clothes will look better and they'll last longer. Even wine stains disappear like magic with new OxiClean Active. Remember the chocolate stain? Check this out.
Wow, what a difference!
How about the ring around the collar? Now the stain is gone. Remember the lace tablecloth with the wine stain? Now it looks like brand new. OxiClean Active Stain Remover does so much more. Soy sauce on carpet comes out like it was never there. And when it comes to pet stains and odors, new OxiClean Active is man's best friend. Use new OxiClean Active on upholstery to remove tough stains like coffee. The stain is gone or we'll refund your money. When you order, you'll receive not one, but 2 bottles of our new OxiClean Active Stain Remover, plus a super chamois, and we'll also include a tub of our world-famous OxiClean for only $19.99. Call now so we could double this entire offer absolutely free. That means you'll get 2 giant bottles of our new OxiClean Active Stain Remover, 2 super chamois, and a whopping 6-pound bucket of OxiClean. That's a huge value for only $19.99. Here's how to order.
This TV offer for Oxy Active is for a limited time, so call 1-800-207-5577. That's 1-800-207-5577. Call now.
No score going to the bottom of the 4th inning. Bertie Williams will lead it off. Miguel Bautista had great luck against left-handers during the year. They hit only .218 off him. Only Pedro Martinez had better numbers against left-handers in holding down their average and their slugging percentage. So we turn to Rick Sutcliffe and say, how come?
Because he stays down with everything that he throws, and he's got the #1 defense in the National League playing behind him. Not only guys that can catch balls that are hit at him, but guys like Counsell and Finley that can go take hits away from him.
Bautista will work to left-handers here. Bernie Williams flied out his first time up. I've always wondered sometimes when you get a guy like Bautista and a switch hitter like Williams, where right-handers do considerably better, why not just turn around and bat right-handed against a right-hander?
Because he throws hard.
That's why.
And you don't like that ball coming out of your ear as he releases it.
Under the arms on that one, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Williams.
We've seen guys like Pete Rose, switch hitters, turn around on soft throwers like Tommy John. I remember my first couple of years in the big leagues.
Bautista goes 3-2. Thought he had that one.
They're not going to turn around on hard throwers. Just like Joe Torre telling us that Tino Martinez is an everyday player, but he's not an everyday player against Randy Johnson. There's a difference with that guy.
Ernie Williams has hit them both pretty well during the season. Left-hander Martinez waiting. Bautista watching. So another leadoff man on. In 2 out of the 4 innings, that has happened against Bautista. We will have a day off from World Series play tomorrow, and then back with you on Saturday from the desert of Phoenix, Arizona, where the Yankees will send left-hander Andy Pettitte to the mound against left-hander, the big unit, Randy Johnson. Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 12:30 Greenwich Mean Time. Somebody will have a 3-2 lead when we get there. Hope you'll join us.
You know, Derek Jeter came through with his promise to bench coach Don Zimmer. Zimmer saying he didn't like cold weather.
Towering pop-up, first pitch, Grace at first. Right on the line in foul territory, they call it officially. And Martinez is out of there.
Yankees came back here to Yankee Stadium down 2-0, and right before batting practice of that first game, Zimmer telling Jeter, I like warm weather. I'm a warm weather guy. And Jeter goes, so? Zim says, you know what I mean? I want to go back to Arizona. Well, with that home run last night, Zim will be getting on that plane going to Phoenix. And he can thank his buddy, Derek Jeter.
1 down. Jorge Posada, runner at first base. Bautista has had a couple of Yankees that have helped out in this game by going after, surprisingly going after first pitches. He walked Williams, then got a first pitch out of Martinez. Schilling and Johnson combined ERA. Anderson and Bautista combined ERA, and then look at the bullpen, 3.68. That's where they've been hurt. Strike on the inside corner. In games not started by either Randy Johnson or Curt Schilling, this ball club was 40-52 during the regular season. They relied on their terrible twosome a ton. Were you surprised Martinez went after that first pitch?
I was real surprised by that. I don't know why they're not showing more patience. They know what's left down there in that Arizona bullpen. There's not a lot. They say Kim could pitch an inning, but man, that's a lot to ask of a closer that threw 60 pitches last night.
And he got his heart ripped out. Here's the 1-1. Grounder off the fist to short. Womack one, Counsell the fine pivot on a good hard slide by Bernie Williams, but Counsell came over it, and they turned 2. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. Counsell, that's what a second baseman gets paid for. Make that pivot, make that throw. Still no score.
The world premiere of Sports Century Ballet, coming November 6th. You can play for love or money.
I know you don't mind hustling.
But sometimes the stakes get too high. White Men Can't Jump is on Real Classics, hosted by Burt Reynolds, 8 p.m. Sunday, only on ESPN Classic. 1986. Classic.
Congratulations to the Florida Marlins, the 2003 World Series champions. Fans, call today for your MLB Authentic Collection World Series Champions t-shirt and cap. These are the same t-shirts and caps the Marlins wore during their clubhouse celebration. Just $24.95 each. Call 800-643-9042. Call 800-643-9042. Supplies are limited, so call now. 800-643-9042.
Think it's hard to lose weight and get in shape? Think you have to go to a gym or exercise so hard it hurts and so long you tire out? Well, think again.
Introducing the Tread Climber by Nautilus, a machine so effective we guarantee results in just 30 days.
In one short workout, the Tread Climber burns twice as many calories as high-tech treadmills.
The secret is the unique dual treadles that let you step up as you move forward, so you do twice the work in one effortless motion.
Get the body you want in half the time.
Now you can own a Tread Climber with no money down and affordable monthly payments. It's made in the USA by Nautilus and is backed by a 5-year warranty.
Just 3 short workouts a week on the Tread Climber will get you into the best shape of your life.
Check out the next evolution in home fitness, the Tread Climber. Call now for a free video or DVD, or visit us at nautilusdirect.com today.
0-1-0 Arizona, 0-2-0 New York. Pitchers again dominating.
Let's let Mike Mussina teach us a little bit about mechanics for a pitcher. He's as fundamentally sound as they come. Number one, this leg kick is a lot like that of a jack-in-the-box we all had as kids. You want to get that spring wound as tight as you possibly can. Watch where he gets it. All right, now he's got it coiled. Now his job is to land out here in the direction of home plate, which is where he's going to throw the baseball, and land on the ball of his foot. If you land on your heel, you can slip. On the ball of your foot, you've got a good grip. Those are the first 2 things. The most important thing we're going to show you here in a minute.
How about right now?
Your arm is like a dragster. What happens when a dragster reaches the finish line? The parachute comes out. The finish line is where he releases the baseball. Look at how his body rotates to where his arm has room to slow down. That's why you can throw as hard as he does, as long as he has thrown. Watch guys like Greg Maddux, Kevin Brown, guys that have succeeded. That's the reason why. Pedro Martinez, he wraps his arm almost around to the middle of his back. Open that parachute.
And it is working here in this game 5. Inside corner strike taken by Finley, who struck out his first time up. And it's 1-2 already on Finley. 6 strikeouts have already been recorded in the ball game. He hasn't missed many already in this lineup. 1-2 delivery. Finley, long fly ball, way back in right field. Goodbye, home run. And the Arizona Diamondbacks take the lead 1-0. Finley's first hit in 3 at-bats off Mussina. And that was hit as Mark Grace hit his last night.
And I'll bet anything Luis Gonzalez contributed to this home run. He said he got me out on the changeup. When he gets ahead, don't let him fool you like he did me. He was ahead in the count. It was 1-2. What did Mussina throw? A changeup. What did Steve Finley hit a long ways? That very same pitch.
And he crushed that one, his first World Series home run of the season. And his first postseason home run. And the Diamondbacks are on the board. And there's one of the bats that we were talking about earlier, that it has been so cold here in this World Series. He got one there from Mussina and drilled it. Reggie Sanders, a strikeout victim his first time up. The Diamondbacks now with 5 home runs on the World Series, while the Yankees have 4. It's kind of the way it's been, Rick. Scoring runs, not many hits. It's been long balls. 9 combined home runs for these 2 teams. Into the seats.
You know, that's what you expected coming into this series, though. Guys like Schilling and Johnson and Mussina and Pettit. Joe Torre telling us he was not surprised as we look at the home run. It's a changeup. Take a look at it. Off-speed pitch, that same downward movement that fooled people in the previous inning. There was some conversation in the Arizona dugout. They looked for it, and they defeated it.
Mike Mussina, as we mentioned, gave up only 14 home runs during the regular season. But, Rick, he's given up 4 home runs now in the postseason in just 21 innings. The ratio has changed dramatically off Mussina. Is that because of the hitters or him?
We've seen 3 of them on that changeup. He's just falling in love with one pitch. It's really not his out pitch. There's an out pitch.
Off-speed curveball right there. That knuckle curve, and Sanders retired the second time striking out.
Joe Torre telling us when we got here to New York, he wasn't surprised that Schilling and Randy Johnson shut down his offense. He was surprised that his pitchers, Mike Mussina and Andy Pettitte, did not do the same to Arizona. That was a surprise. When he got back to New York, the Rocket and El Duque were able to quiet Arizona, and we're back tied where this series started.
1-0 lead for the Diamondbacks, one down. And that one hit down the line, but curving and foul. As Mark Grace, who drew a walk his first time up, has a one-strike count. Well, but for the one blowout game that we've had in this World Series, I mean, there have been very few runs. As Game 2, it was 1-0 after 6.5. Game 3, 2-1 the final. Game 4 was 1-1 after 7. And tonight we got just one on the board, and we're in the 5th inning. They've not come easy. Martinez. 2 down.
That's the toughest thing for a #1 pitcher, is that you're normally, when the season starts, going to go up against everybody else's #1. There's not going to be a lot of runs to work with. I remember one time in 1989, Greg Maddux had won 19 games, and Don Zimmer selected him to pitch opening day. Maddux goes into Zimmer's office and he says, "Hey, I'm not the opening day guy. This is Rick Sutcliffe's team. He should pitch opening day." Zim changes his mind. I go up to Maddux and I say, "Hey, that was nice of you. Thanks." He goes, "It had nothing to do with you pitching opening day. I didn't want to face John Tudor, who was pitching opening day for the Cardinals. I got beat 2-1. He won 9-3 the next day."
Ah, what are friends for?
Yeah. Thinking he's my best buddy, and he tags me with a loss.
Here is Rod Barajas, starting catcher in this game, who in his first postseason appearance delivered a base hit and has thrown out a base runner. That'll quiet the nerves a little bit for this catcher. A surprise starter with Damian Miller hurt. Check swing on that, and he went around 1-1.
What are the odds on him seeing another fastball away? Huh?
0. Rojas obviously anxious here, and you get a guy who's played as little as he has and finds himself starting. Damian Miller, there he is, hurt on the bench. Way inside, turn foul.
That's by design. Mussina takes a little bit off that pitch, and watch the movement. Watch it coming down and in. Watch it going in there late. He's coming in. That is the only place Barajas could have hit that pitch, because Mussina took a little off. Now he'll add a little bit to a breaking ball, probably on the outer half, and the inning will be over.
Got that one in, and it is hit high and deep. And is it fair? Is it fair? Goodbye! Home run! Barajas, who was not supposed to be playing in this game, has delivered his second hit, a homer. And the Diamondbacks, on 2 home runs in the 5th inning, have a 2-0 lead. How fast do you think this young man's heart's beating? And look at Damian Miller.
All about location with that breaking ball through Mussina. He makes a mistake again. Jorge Posada was sitting on the outside corner. He wanted it to be bounced. You've seen it. That was the design. But the problem in baseball, there's a human element involved. Take a look at the glove of Posada. Where does he want it? He's sitting out here. That's where he wants it. Either that or down. We'll get some help. Where does it end up? Watch what his glove does. Look at him go back to the center.
It was right in the sweet spot, wasn't it?
That's just not where it's supposed to be. These are just physical mistakes Mike Mussina's making. He doesn't normally do.
From Ontario, California, now living in Phoenix, Barajas. What a night he's had to remember so far. The knuckle curveball in. Damian Miller, the regular catcher, right there to congratulate him. He's got a lot to talk about.
That's great for Damian Miller to be there.
Swung on and missed and tagged out. 5th inning over, but 2 home runs off Mike Mussina here in the 5th. Damian Miller, the regular catcher, out injured, watching his backup come in and get his 2nd hit in as many at-bats in this game. That one a shot down the left field line. The Diamondbacks have a 2-0 lead.
Good morning, Patty.
Good morning, Miss Park.
A 5.3-liter V8 would be nice. Some leather would be good.
Some leather would be good.
A sound system that only plays Vivaldi. Nah. The interior should be really quiet. Should ride like it's gliding on air. Give me everything we've ever learned about building fine automobiles. Well, that's a lot to fit in a car. Who says it's got to be a car?
Introducing Rainier. It's a brand new Buick.
People claim to have a method, a surefire approach.
I don't know anyone who
stumbled into wealth.
I make money the
same way my clients do.
I work for it, work hard.
A method, a system, a pattern. I get up every morning at 4:30.
When I look across the desk
at my clients,
I see a little bit of myself in them.
I think they
see the same in me. Smith Barney.
This is who we are.
This is how we earn it.
Over 1 million people understand its strength. It can give you new energy, a new outlook, and an entirely new shape. This is Bowflex Power Rod technology, and it can only be found on genuine Bowflex equipment, like the new Bowflex Extreme. Designed by Nautilus to make losing weight and building muscle more effective than ever. Now you can get the results you want, the exercises you need, all at an affordable price. You've never seen this Bowflex before. Call 1-800-261-7714 now and get the new Bowflex Extreme with no money down and just $19 a month. Getting a high-performance body has never been more affordable. All it takes is a plan, a commitment, and a proven tool that makes getting results so easy. When you're ready to get in shape, look for real Bowflex Power Rod technology and the new Bowflex Extreme. We've won the confidence of over 1 million people because we mean what we say. We live up to our promises, and ultimately, we deliver results. Women and men of all ages are feeling better, performing better, and looking better with one simple workout done 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week. Call and find out what Bowflex's Power Rod technology can do for you. All our machines come with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. In fact, Bowflex has several new models for you to see, many backed by a 10-year warranty. Now you can own your very own Bowflex, like the new Extreme, for no money down and only $19 a month. The Bowflex Extreme is not available in stores. You know you're ready. It's time to let Bowflex help you get there. Call now to get a great deal on the professional quality Extreme. Now just $19 a month.
White men can't jump.
Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes star in White Men Can't Jump on Real Classics, hosted by Burt Reynolds. Sunday.
The world premiere of Sports Century Ballet, coming November 6th.
Great to have you with us. Hope you are enjoying this Game 5 of the 2001 World Series. Major League Baseball International around the world. It has been quite the series and another outstanding baseball game. Bautista remains on. Started the windup. Started over again here. It'll be Soriano, Jeter, and O'Neill, 9, 1, and 2 in the order against the 30-year-old right-hander of the Diamondbacks. Down low for a ball.
How valuable is Mariano Rivera? If Bob Brenly has him, guess who's on the mound right now? And guess who wins this ball game?
But he's wearing a Yankee uniform. So Bautista's trying to work his way through it. But a 2-0 count.
Joe Torre is a great manager, but Rivera sure helps you look awful smart.
Inside. The Diamondbacks left 2 on in the 7th, 2 on in the 8th, 2 on in the 3rd. 3 of the 6 in scoring position. Brenly again has seen a night where the hitters haven't produced. It has kept the door open again for the Yankees.
I might again put the take sign on him.
3-1. He did. He took it. It's a strike. 3-2.
That doesn't mean that that wasn't the right move by Joe Torre there, because this next pitch will dictate that. You have to figure it's going to be the exact same pitch, another hittable fastball. If it's not a strike, then the take on 3-1 worked.
Soriano's had a single and 2 at-bats tonight. Bautista with a 3-2 delivery. Got the chopper. Counsell again and again. Makes a big play. Soriano retired, the leadoff man out in the 8th inning. Our MasterCard priceless moment.
Speaking of big plays, Gary, we've talked the last 3 innings about the tying run being in the on-deck circle. The tying run would be at home plate if it were not for our priceless moment. A hanging curveball to Rod Barajas, top of the 5th inning, 2-0 Arizona. That's where we stand.
Miller, Damian Miller on the right, the regular catcher, scheduled to start. Calf muscle problem kept him out. Late change in the lineup. Along came the young man who hadn't played in a World Series ever. He's hit a home run, had a single, thrown out a base runner. 1 down. Jeter. Craig Counsell now has handled 7 chances tonight defensively and made it work. And they have not been easy. Any one of those gets by him, could have changed the complexion of this game. They didn't. Jeter, who's 1 for 3, has a 2-strike count.
I'll tell you what, Bautista is getting a lot of pitches by these Yankee hitters. They still can't pick him up.
Oh, 2 count on Jeter. O'Neill on deck. Throws that one to the backstop in the dirt. Bob Brenly told us he felt that Sung Hyun Kim was available tonight, but only for 1 inning. And that's got to be a little iffy after throwing 61 pitches in last night's game and losing it, giving up 2 homers. 1-2. 2 ball, 2-strike count.
I don't think that kid needs to see Yankee Stadium again this year anyway. Give him an opportunity to let the dust settle, get his feet on the ground, put him out there where there's 50,000 people behind him, not against him as there would be here.
Oh, mercy. Got him to chase one in the dirt. 2 down in the 8th inning. 6 strikeouts for Bautista. And Jeter just looks back on like, what was that? Paul O'Neill, maybe his last at-bat at Yankee Stadium. Let it not be said, Yankee fans don't have a heart. Even with their club down here 2-0 in a key moment of the game, they recognize the situation for Paul O'Neill. Paulie is the chant. Outside with that 2-0. Barajas will head to the mound to have a discussion.
Hard to believe he'd think about retiring. O'Neill, 21 homers this year, 70 RBIs, but the last 4 straight years before this year, he drove in over 100 runs. Only 3 other New York Yankee outfielders ever did that 4 consecutive years. A Hall of Famer named Winfield, a Hall of Famer named DiMaggio, and a guy named Babe Ruth. You see why they're on their feet.
That company will
get you a
keep you up. Monument Park, where all the Yankee stars are recognized, of course. 2-0 count. Bautista on the outside corner, and he turns to Jim Joyce.
A late call. Not that he called it. but that it took a little bit more time than any other strike tonight has taken. All right, there's the pitch. Where's the call? Now, let me see where the complaint came from.
That one is in the dirt, and it's 3-1. He gets on. The potential tying run will be at the plate again, and it'll be Bernie Williams. There is Neville O'Neill, Paul's wife. For him to get on is the vitally important thing here. However, it's done. It's done. A walk. Five walks in the game by Bautista. And in the back of your mind, 24 hours ago, Yankees, 9th inning, game 4.
Well, just like the walk doesn't seem like a whole lot. Neither did that base hit. But when that base hit, 2 hitters later was followed by that, it was huge.
Now it's Bernie Williams.
Will it be huge again?
2 down. 2-0 Arizona lead. Williams has 16 postseason home runs, but he has none in this series.
Bob Brenly can't win here. If Bautista gets him out, Bautista gets all the credit. What a great pitching performance. If he gives up a homer, oh my goodness, what are they going to do to Brenly?
Pitch 126 is hit in the air to shallow center. Not an easy play. Bermuda Triangle base hit. Womack trying to catch it over his shoulder. Gonzalez and Finley couldn't get there. And here we go again.
It's going to go as a base hit, but it shouldn't. It's a tentative shortstop going after this fly ball. You got to want it. You can't expect help. You got to go get it immediately. Not after the fact. Go get it right now. Go get it. That's yours. That is a horrible angle to take on that fly ball. Plenty of time to get there, turn around, and set yourself. Don't spin around. Oh, my goodness.
And with all this noise, Rick, where Gonzalez ended up, it looked as though he could have made that catch.
Well, defensively to begin with, he had to be as deep as he possibly can. You try to cut off the angles, keep a ball from getting through, and keep Bernie Williams from getting an extra base hit. Well, he had a long ways to go, but you're right. Somebody should have gotten there. Womack could have easily.
Bautista is out of there. He leaves after getting 2 outs in the 8th inning. But he'll be responsible for the runners at first and third.
Somewhere between where you are and where you're going, there's a Super 8. See you along the way.
One thing that can break up any party? A broken chip.
Get Tostitos Gold, the Tostitos that are made extra thick.
Perfect for hearty dips. Tastes so good, you never know who'll show up.
So, guy goes into a bar.
Tostitos Gold, the perfect chip for hearty dips.
Women love perfectly groomed men, but grooming certain areas can be a problem. Razor blades can cut you, and scissors can poke you. Now there's Microtouch, designed to go where razors and scissors shouldn't go. For safe, precise grooming that gets as close as a blade, yet is safe to the touch. The sleek design gives you perfect control, so you can keep the back of your neck barbershop perfect by yourself. Remove unsightly ear hair with just a touch. Embarrassing nose hair, gone like that. Sideburns straight and even. Mustaches and beards neat and clean. Got bushy eyebrows? Just snap on the guide and perfectly groom them in seconds. Look at the difference. Microtouch grooms from head to toe and anywhere in between. Shoulders, arms, chest, or back. Powerful enough for the tough stuff, yet gentle even on the most sensitive skin. The secret? Our precision cutting system that cuts hair but doesn't cut skin. It gets as close as a blade, yet is safe to the touch. Guaranteed. The Snap-on Guide lets you control just how much is removed. Remove a little, a lot, or remove it all and show off that hard body. What a great way for women to keep the men in their life perfectly groomed, or for moms who want to keep their kids looking neat and clean between haircuts. Microtouch replaces expensive trimmers like these and goes places they can't with micro precision. A $40 value for only $14.99. So avoid those risky razor cuts, put down the pointy scissors, and go with Microtouch, the safe, precise solution for everyday grooming. Call now and you'll also get our 10-piece precision grooming kit. It includes every grooming tool you need to always look your best. A $40 value, yours absolutely free. You get it all. The Microtouch Precision Groomer and this beautiful 10-piece grooming kit, an incredible $80 value for only $14.99. But you have to call now. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-618-9889 or send a check or money order to the address listed. So call 1-800-618-9889. Call now.
On ESPN Classic.
I needed rehabilitation because of that fight. I was devastated.
An all-new season
Al Davis thinks everybody's out to get him. He's an us against them kind of guy.
of world premieres.
St. Louis is a big ballpark, and Mark McGwire made it look very small.
Brand new shows.
It's still a hard pill to swallow.
The award-winning
Whenever I'm watching ESPN Classic and it comes on, I turn the TV off.
Sports Century, 8 p.m. weeknights, only on ESPN Classic.
Miguel Bautista, what a job. 7 2/3 innings. 5 hits off him, all singles. Womack unable to make that play, though, and the inning stays alive, and Swindell out of the pen.
It should have been 8 complete, because right out here is where that ball is going to come down. Tony Womack should go just like this to get it. He knows when Bernie's jammed, the ball's going to slice away from him. But look at this. What's going on? The baseball's over here. Why take that route to it? Well, everybody's going to want to know the answer to that, particularly if Greg Swindell cannot do anything here.
Greg Swindell will be making his 3rd appearance here in the World Series. He's worked 2 1/3 innings, giving up 1 hit, walking 1 and striking out 2. And again, it's Tino Martinez. It's tough to watch if you're a Diamondback. Runners at 1st and 3rd and 2 down. Swindell gets the strike. Swindell pitching for his 6th major league team. And he has faced Tino Martinez before. Martinez is 3 for 15 lifetime off Swindell. O'Neill at 3rd. Williams at 1st. That'll be foul back and no play, and a 2-strike count on Tino Martinez.
Tino said his approach last night on Young Kim was to go up there and take 2 big hacks at the first 2 pitches he could reach. But he said after that, I've got to adjust and try to put the ball in play. Well, with the count 0-2 here, you'd figure he's going to spread out a little bit, maybe shorten up his stroke, try to put the ball in play again.
There are 2 down. 2-0 Diamondback lead. Fouled off. It'll stay as a 2-strike count. Miguel Bautista, longest outing of the year. 7 2/3 innings. The 5 walks ultimately hurt a bit in this 8th inning as he gave up 1 in this inning. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Left field, not deep. Gonzalez camped under it. puts it away. And Swindell comes on to get a very big out in this World Series season. No runs, a base hit. 2 are left on base. Yankees 2 on in the 7th, 2 left on in the 8th. They are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Miguel Bautista watching, hoping, finally celebrating. No runs for the Yankees.
Karen's father sent him to prison. Now he's out for revenge.
He's in a blaming mood, honey.
But which Cisco will he get first? Karen Cisco, tonight at 10/9 Central after The Bachelor on ABC.
You can play for love or money.
I know you don't mind hustling.
But sometimes the stakes get too high. White Men Can't Jump is on Real Classics, hosted by Burt Reynolds, 8 p.m. Sunday, only on ESPN Classic.
I think when I was younger, I just wanted to come up with a style of my own. The only thing I come with was the leg kick. It becomes a part of you. I live for this.
Watch the World Series. Don't miss it.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty leaving my dog alone.
I will know my children are safe.
I will go on vacation and finally be able to relax!
At ADT, we're always there, helping more people feel safe in more ways than any other security company in America. A single ADT system can help protect your home and family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and get all this protection for $0 down. Plus save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. With ADT, you'll be connected to our customer monitoring center, where trained professionals are watching out for you around the clock. So when an alarm is triggered, we can call for help right away.
I will live my life.
My life.
On my terms!
There's never been a better time to take advantage of ADT. ADT, always there.
Once again, the Diamondbacks in a position to win. 8th inning, they could have helped themselves. It didn't happen.
Had an opportunity several times to drive in that 3rd run. Tony Womack got on with a base hit, stole 2nd, got the 3rd on the air, but could not get anybody to help him touch home plate. Terrific job of pitching by Mike Mussina, but he stands to get the loss unless another Yankee Stadium memory happens.
Mussina's out of there. 2 runs on 5 hits over 8 innings as he walked 3 to intentional and struck out 10. Mendoza on in relief as we go to the 9th.
A little surprised here, maybe a lack of confidence in Mike Stanton.
Got hit a little hard last night.
2 out of the 3 hitters due up this inning left-handed.
We're in the 9th, and the Diamondbacks 3 outs away from going up 3-2 in the series and taking this back to Phoenix with a chance to win it Saturday night. Games 6 and 7 are sold out in Phoenix for the Bank One ballpark. Randy Johnson will be the starter Saturday. Paul O'Neill is the chant for Paul O'Neill in right field. Two ball, 2 strike count. Down the line and towards the seats and out of reach. Midtown Manhattan there, Yankee Stadium here, off the bag and out into left center field. A big turn, but only a single. So Finley is on. That ball hit second base and ricocheted out towards left field, but did not slow it down enough to give him a chance to get the second base. 6 hits now for the Diamondbacks.
You got to like the way Steve Finley runs the bases though here. That ball hits off the corner of the bag over Jeter's head. Now everybody has to hustle, but you can see Jeter pointing back to the bag, telling the young second baseman Soriano, you've got to cover.
Big night for Finley now. That's 3 hits and 4 at-bats, 2 singles and a home run. Mendoza, the leadoff man on here in the 9th inning. Reggie Sanders, will he bunt? He has struck out 3 times in this game, not bunting. Maybe he should have. Brocious, Soriano, not in time. Fielder's choice, his speed prevents the double play.
His speed and the speed and desire on the part of Steve Finley. Always hustling on the baseball field. Finley goes into Soriano hard. And even with the great, quick, strong throw of the Yankee second baseman, they can't complete the double play. There's Sanders' speed. Perfect feed on the part of Brocious, but look at where Finley's at.
Mark Grace. Does Bob Brenly stay aggressive here in the 9th inning? Try and send Reggie Sanders for a stolen base or maybe a hit and run. Yes. Trying to get that extra run across here. Another run. Pitch is taken for a strike, 1-1. If they're going to do it, it'll be right here. Grace has walked twice, once intentional, grounded out. Billy Spires relaying the signs. Sanders over at first base.
What makes Grace so good is that even on a pitch out, I've seen him throw the bat at the baseball.
Runner wasn't going. 1-2.
There'll be no hit and run now with 2 strikes. You can't put him in a position where he has to swing the bat with him only having 1 strike left.
Bob Brenly has Kim up in the bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 down. Grace towards second. Soriano, Jeter. Double play. The Yankees will get another shot at it. Paul O'Neill, final time maybe. Coming off the field at Yankee Stadium to a great hand.
Napoleon's empire is spreading. Only they can stop him.
Wanna call Napoleon your king?
Oceans are now battlefields.
It's not a moment to lose.
On November 14th,
We should have turned back weeks ago.
stand tall.
Courage is all I can expect from any man. Find that within yourself.
Hold fast.
She's not in range yet! Come on, lad!
Russell Crowe,
Roll up the colors.
Master and Commander. Rated PG-13. November 14th, only in theaters.
Geico Excellence means serving our customers 24 hours a day. I'm talking 24/7, no sleep. Hey, Louise, make me a pot of coffee, because I'm here to serve the customers. That's as if you were at an all-night diner. That's what you'd say.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
We're going up. If Geico were a food group, we would be the vegetables, not the meat.
Oh, my aching legs.
I gotta get off my feet.
They need the Sona Air Massager. Nothing works better than a massage to ease those aches and pains in no time.
I can't believe it. Just a few minutes with the Sona Air Massager and my feet feel great.
Wow, this is tremendous. No matter how bad my legs feel, this massager has them back into shape in no time.
The Sona Air Massager is so easy to use. Simply slip it on each leg like a custom pair of boots and activate them with this handy electronic controller. You'll feel each chamber fill up with air, making the boots expand and contract with a soothing massaging action. And you can use the control panel to adjust the massage level to your own comfort and pleasure.
It's wonderful. I've never felt anything this good on my legs or my feet.
Imagine having the time and money to get a professional leg and foot massage each and every day. Well, the Sona Air Massager is the next best thing. It massages your calves, ankles, and feet all at the same time.
All I can think about while I'm driving home is lying down with my massager. It makes the whole day worthwhile.
You've seen other air massagers selling for as much as $150, but the Sona Air Massager isn't $100, $75, or even $39.99 like others on TV. All this soothing relief is yours for only $29. $29.95. But wait, call now and we'll also include this thigh massager absolutely free. It works the same way to ease the muscles in your thighs. Plus, as an extra bonus, you'll also get the Sona Personal Massager. It's perfect for those delicate areas, your neck and upper body. It's a $20 value, yours free. Shipping is free too. You get everything, a total value of $70 for only $29.95. So order your Sona Air Massager now.
To order your Sona Air Massager, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-710-8100 or send check or money order for $29.95 plus shipping to Sona Air Massager, P.O. Box 5555, Thousand Oaks, California, or call 1-800-710-8100.
Danny Bautista in the ball game defensively in left field for Gonzalez. And after just a heartbreaking night for the young Kim last night, 62 pitches, 3 runs, 2 home runs, a loss in the game, 1 out away from a win, home run Martinez, home run Jeter. Here he is again, 2-0, bottom of the 9th. Jorge Posada, and a strike. And his teammates, as much faith in him as they can show. Barajas, the catcher, talking to him. Williams handed him the ball. Breaking ball is up high, 1-1. It'll be Posada, Spencer, and Knobloch due up.
And what he meant by putting 2 fingers down was to say if a runner gets on second and you have to do a series of signs, we'll go with second sign. Try to get that out of the way so that you don't have to break up the game to get that done. Umpires, once the inning starts, they don't want anybody going to the mound unless they have to.
The first native of Korea to appear in a World Series game ever last night. That one down the left field line. Bautista's not going to get it. In the corner, it'll be a leadoff double for Jorge Posada.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Kim coming in to face Spencer for this at bat, but I was startled that Bob Brenly decided to start Kim against Posada. Swindell throws strikes. Posada gets most of his at-bats during the course of the year from the left side. You leave a left-handed reliever in, he has to hit right-handed. He had never gotten a hit off Greg Swindell before. You leave him in, he gets him out. Now you bring Kim in to face the right-handed hitters.
9th inning. 6 hit for the Yankees. The leadoff man is on. The potential tying run is at the plate. Shane Spencer, 1 for 2 and a walk. He has had a single. That is the first Yankee extra base hit of the game. The double by Jorge Posada. $56,018 the announced attendance. Tonight, nobody has left. Ball 2.
Well, unlike last night, Bob Brenly does have activity in his bullpen. Mike Morgan's up and throwing. Last night in the 9th inning, Kim was all by himself.
Runner on second base. Here's the 2-0 delivery. Foul back, and it's 2-1.
Oh, my goodness. Big cut by a big, strong man, and nobody knows that better than Curt Schilling, who Shane Spencer hit a home run off of last night on a pitch a lot like that one.
Two-1 delivered to Spencer. That breaking ball missed. 3-1. Series tied at 2 games apiece. Arizona leading 2-0 in the 9th inning. Arizona led last night 3-1. Grounded towards third. Williams holds the runner and gets the out. Spencer retired, one away. Just keep in mind how many times we have said in this game the importance of runs not gotten by the Diamondbacks. It happened last night, and they didn't get them again tonight, Rick.
You know, but they've got a chance to go up 3-2, and the reason for that has been their starters in this series. 36 innings pitched. Their starters have allowed 4 runs and ERA collectively of 1. The question is, can the bullpen do what they're supposed to do?
Bullpen ERA up over 3.6. You see the anxiety and anxiousness of that Diamondback bench. Here is Chuck Knobloch. This will be his first at bat in the game. He's had only 1 hit in his last 23 at bats and 0 for 12 in the series. Off the end of the bat for strike 1. Pulled out of the lineup by Joe Torre to get Spencer in. Spencer has had a hotter bat and has played a little better left field. Now Knobloch on because he pinch ran for Justice, the designated hitter in the 7th inning. The 0-1 delivery jammed him, and it's 0-2.
If he gets a hit, it's no big deal. But if he does not, you know, Joe Torre in the back of his mind wishing he would have had a better option on that bench as far as a left-handed pinch hitter was concerned. Last night, right-handers against Kim were only 1 for 9. Of course, we know what that 1 hit was.
Yeah. Just over the wall and right.
Mr. November.
Derek Jeter's home run that won it. 2 strike count, 1 away. Outside with it. Posada on at second base. The Yankees 9-game win streak at home in World Series play on the line again. Kim's pitch. Man, did that come off the mask. Barajas, the catcher, went all the way back into the seats.
Didn't look like your normal 2-strike swing. Let me just try to put it in play. Knobloch trying to back leg that hanging breaking ball.
Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Knobloch. Swindell. He can barely stand to watch. Time out at the plate. Clemens would be a Game 7 starter if it got there. He starts Saturday. So does he. He starts Game 7. The 1-2 delivery. Jammed him. Got him. Strike 3 called. Kim coming inside, and Knobloch is retired. There are 2 down.
What a pitch here by young Kim. A lot of movement. Looked like it started on that corner. Not sure if it stayed there or not, but my opinion's not one that counts. It's the home plate umpire, Jim Joyce, that got Curt Schilling so excited.
2 down. Scott Brosius. He's had an 0 for 3 in the ball game, 3 for 16 in the series. Kim inside to him, ball 1. The potential tying run at the plate. There are 2 down. The Diamondbacks trying to shut out the Yankees, who were shut out only 5 times during the regular season. That one hit in the air to left field. Do you believe it? Goodbye, home run. They have done it again. This game is tied. first home run of the World Series. And Kim devastated for the second consecutive night. 2 down, 9th inning. Last night, Tino Martinez, 2 down, 9th inning. Tonight, Scott Brocious, both home runs, tied the game.
Morning, Joe. New haircut?
No. New shoes? No.
Hey, Joe. You been working out?
No.
Hey, Joe. Shave your mustache?
Nope.
You sure that's not a new haircut?
Yes.
Did you just get back from vacation?
No.
Did you get a promotion?
No.
Did I?
No.
No.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Ready to ask your doctor about Viagra for the first time? Find out if a free sample is right for you. To learn more, visit Viagra.com. Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Going my way.
You know it.
John Lynch and his mom are coming to your home.
Hey, how you doing?
John Lynch, how you doing? Very nice to meet you. Come in, let's go.
And they're bringing dinner. New Campbell's Chunky Grilled Chicken and Sausage Gumbo. Hearty chunks of savory meat, veggies, and rice.
What do you say I autograph?
Sure beats another frozen dinner.
Come on, check out the place. Can we play a little bit?
Mom doesn't like me rough.
Come on, you can hit me a little bit.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Have chunky soup for dinner.
That was great, man.
Make it Campbell's instead.
Coming this November to Sports Century, the world premieres of all new profiles, starting with Sports Century Ballet, Thursday, November 6th. Plus,
They talk trash, but they backed it up.
Jerry's Cowboys, Monday, November 10th. Seabiscuit, Monday, November 17th. And
Barry was a walking highlight.
Barry Sanders, Monday, November 24th. The Sports Century world premieres, coming this November, only to ESPN Classic.
He gave up 10 home runs during the season. And there's a pitch that Morgan uncorks and knocks Soriano down. That one just got away. He wants an out here, nothing else.
You don't put the winning run on base here in the 9th inning with the speed of Soriano on purpose. You're exactly right.
10 home runs off Kim during the season. 3 home runs in 2 nights here. That one to left field. Danny Bautista over and will retire the side. Here we go again. 1 out away from a victory and a chance to take a lead in this series. This time Scott Brocious did the damage here in the 9th inning. A 2-run homer to tie the game up.
The world premiere of Sports Century Barry Sanders, coming November 24th.
You can play for love or money.
I know you don't mind hustling.
But sometimes the stakes get too high. White Men Can't Jump is on Real Classics, hosted by Burt Reynolds, 8 p.m. Sunday, only on ESPN Classic.
1999.
Classic.
Congratulations to the Florida Marlins, the 2003 World Series champions. Fans, call today for your MLB Authentic Collection World Series Champions t-shirt and cap. These are the same t-shirts and caps the Marlins wore during their clubhouse celebration. Just $24.95 each. Call 800-643-9042. Call 800-643-9042. Supplies are limited, so call now. 800-643-9042.
Think it's hard to lose weight and get in shape? Think you have to go to a gym or exercise so hard it hurts and so long you tire out? Well, think again.
Introducing the Tread Climber by Nautilus, a machine so effective we guarantee results in just 30 days.
In one short workout, the Tread Climber burns twice as many calories as high-tech treadmills.
The secret is the unique dual treadles that let you step up as you move forward so you do twice the work in one effortless motion.
Get the body you want in half the time.
Now you can own a tread climber with no money down and affordable monthly payments. It's made in the USA by Nautilus and is backed by a 5-year warranty.
Just 3 short workouts a week on the tread climber will get you into the best shape of your life.
Check out the next evolution in home fitness, the tread climber. Call now for a free video or DVD, or visit us at nautilusdirect.com today.
The Arizona Diamondbacks asked to bounce back again. We go to the 10th inning, a 2-2 ball game. Yankees shut out till the 9th inning with 2 outs.
In the last 11 hitters that Young Kim has faced, he's given up 3 home runs. That's not a closer.
The New York Yankees, the last 6 extra inning games. 2001, Game 4 last night. They have won all 6 of those, and they are 10-6-1 all time in World Series extra inning games. One of the reasons, number 42. Shell shock. The Diamondbacks, Damian Miller.
I am too.
Barajas up. We go to the 10th. He only threw 13 pitches in last night's game. He threw 29 on Tuesday. Getting a save and a win. His numbers just continue to pile up. 2-0, 5 saves, ERA .71 this year in the postseason. He is 6-0, 23 saves in a row in 50 postseason games. Mariano Rivera, the 1-1 delivery, and that's inside. 2-1. They stayed, they saw, they conquered. Home run came in the 5th inning. Finley had his. Broken bat, Bloop, second base. Soriano. 1 down in the 10th.
Well, at least that time Mariano needed some help from somebody. Although I think he could have run back and caught that ball if he had to. Most of his innings, he either retires the hitter via the strikeout, or they try to bunt and he picks it up and makes a tag himself.
Post-game career numbers, nobody's ever done better in the ERA department. Referring to the pool at the ballpark in Phoenix. It'll be open Saturday, and we will be there to bring you that ball game, Game 6. One-0 count. Overhand heater. Womack to second. Soriano. Rivera just keeps mowing them down. 2 away in the 10th. Want to take a guess who leads off the Yankees half of the 10th inning?
Not him again. Mr. November.
Him again.
I don't know why the outfielders are even out there. You might as well bring them all in on the infield, because in this series here at Yankee Stadium, Mariano Rivera hadn't allowed a ball out of the infield.
So dominating.
When you think the closer of Arizona not only allowed 3 out of the infield, they've gone out of the park. Wow.
He has retired the last 11 batters faced in these 3 games at Yankee Stadium. Craig Counsell has gone 0 for 4, 1 for 18 for Counsell in the series. 1-1 delivery to him is 1-2. Right back to him. It's as close to automatic as it gets in Major League Baseball. Outs by Rivera. 2-2. Jeter will lead it off in the bottom of the 10th.
Somewhere between where you are and where you're going, there's a Super 8. See you along the way.
I was cooking dinner and I just fell asleep. I tried to get out, but I collapsed. I couldn't call for help, but ADT did. They saved my life.
An ADT monitored fire detector not only sounds an alarm, it actually signals ADT so we can call for help. Call now and get a complete ADT system for $0 down. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP today.
Action! Remember, when you hit the water, I need you to hydroplane out of control. Water! Remember, out of control. Cut! No, cut! Cut. Okay, fire the stunt driver.
The new Michelin Hydro Edge with patented hydro chutes. It's our best performing tire in its class. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Want to lose weight and get lean? Want to shed inches and get chiseled abs? Want to get into the best shape of your life and do it in as little as 20 minutes a day and only 3 days a week? Well, now you can on the Crossbow by Weider. Only the Crossbow features the 5 most important aspects critical to an effective strength training program. 1. Hardcore resistance. The Crossbow's exclusive compound resistance system actually harnesses the power of these bows, allowing you to do multiple repetitions for developing long, lean, shapely muscles. 2. Range of motion. Through advanced engineering and its cable and pulley system, when the Crossbow compounds 1 foot, the cable releases 2, giving you complete range of motion, allowing your muscles to peak with every exercise. 3. Quick change resistance. Because of the Crossbow's breakthrough design, changing resistance is as simple as slipping the ends of the bows under the collar. Going quickly from one exercise to the next allows you to burn more calories by keeping your heart rate up. 4. Total body workout. The Crossbow comes fully loaded with 240 pounds of muscle building resistance. A lap tower for shoulder and back exercises. A leg developer for sculpting the lower body. An adjustable bench for multiple chest and arm exercises, as well as a complete cardio row feature that burns calories while you build muscle. 5. Value. The Crossbow delivers over 65 club quality exercises and space saver design, all for less than half the cost of other home gyms. Call now and put the Crossbow in your home for $0 down and as little as $35 a month. Along with your Crossbow, you'll also receive this workout video and wall chart. It's everything you need to begin a safe, balanced, productive fitness program. Only the Crossbow features all 5 critical aspects to an effective cardio and strength training workout. Call now.
Coming this November to Sports Century, the world premieres of all new profiles, starting with Sports Century Ballet, Thursday, November 6th. Plus,
they talk trash, but they backed it up.
Jerry's Cowboys, Monday, November 10th. Seabiscuit, Monday, November 17th. And
Barry was a walking highlight.
Barry Sanders, Monday, November 24th. The Sports Century world premieres, coming this November, only to ESPN Classic.
56,018 rockin' and rollin' Yankee Stadium, remembering last night, 10th inning, Derek Jeter. The 12th walk-off home run to win a World Series game in World Series history, and establishing Derek Jeter as Mr. November in the first baseball game ever played in the month of November, because it carried past midnight. 12:03:46 was the time of the home run. 12:01 is the time right now. Jeter's going to have to foul off a few pitches. We want this script to be exact.
Well, yeah, but maybe it's not. He's not the leading character tonight. Maybe it's Paul O'Neill.
How would that be? Mike Morgan. And he misses with that one for a ball. There is O'Neill waiting on deck. 7 of the Yankees' 9 World Series runs have come on home runs. 7 of 9. Jeter takes it for a strike. 1-1. Mike Morgan pitching in his first World Series after coming to the majors in 1978, including time with the Yankees in '82. To short. Womack. Now listen to the crowd as Paul O'Neill will come up. Jeter maybe turned an ankle there going by first, but looks like he's all right. O'Neill is retiring after this year. Final game at Yankee Stadium. Morgan's pitch is up high for a ball. O'Neill is a .359 hitter off Morgan with 2 home runs. Gets a strike, 1-1. We are in the 10th inning of a 2-2 game. The winner will be up in this World Series 3-2, heading back to Phoenix for Game 6 on Saturday.
Morgan might not remember all 14 of the hits O'Neill has off of. He remembers the 2 homers.
Second base, Counsell. O'Neill, not that destiny, not yet. 2 down.
Tony Gwynn many times when talking about hitting in the clutch talks about how you have to have the ability to slow those moments down. For some, it's like a 16-year-old learning to drive 55 for the first time. Those white lines just fly by you. These Yankees in clutch situations can slow it down, focus. Amazing.
Bernie Williams, 2 down, nobody on. Williams, a .500 hitter off Morgan, with many fewer at bats, however, than O'Neill had. 2 away in the 10th. A tie game at 2-2. Yankees have out-hit the D-backs 7-6. Arizona got their 2 runs in the 5th inning. Finley, Barajas, the catcher, both homered. The Yankees got theirs in the 9th with 2 down. Scott Brocious' 2-run home run off Kim. Now in the 10th, 2 away. And Bernie Williams. The last 2 walk-off home runs in World Series history belong to the Yankees. Chad Curtis in '99 and Jeter last night. Williams fooled by that. It is a fair ball, and that will do it. So Morgan gets the top 3 in the order here in the 10th. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 11th inning. The Arizona Diamondbacks will have the middle of their order coming up. Gonzalez, Durazo, and Williams.
Yo, I got a high-tech Jones all up on my bones, but I can't stock it because of my flat pockets. And so I went to McDonald's and bought some supersized fries. Now I got crazy loot that only flies at Best Buy. I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm loving it. Monopoly best chance game hooks up my living room. I'm the king of the crib, but I'm blowing a fuse. McDonald's, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
One thing that can break up any party? A broken chip. Get Tostitos Gold, the Tostitos that are made extra thick. Perfect for hearty dips. Tastes so good, you never know who'll show up.
So, guy goes into a bar.
Tostitos Gold, the perfect chip for hearty dips.
Sure, I sing a little. And I act up now and then.
Finesse, but now try down here.
But my most important job is running this show. It's not always easy, but LifeWise products from Radio Shack are a big help. They help keep my home, my family, and me healthier and happier.
Now, discover 20 new LifeWise products and get free information on smart choices for health and home.
Hey, busy parents deserve all the help we can get. Mom!
LifeWise products, exclusively at Radio Shack.
Are you a federal or postal employee or annuitant eligible for federal employee health benefits? Then prepare to be wowed by the Mail Handler's Benefit Plan powered by First Health. Our standard option is a great value this open season. Let's start with the really big news on something we all want: low rates. Take a look at our 2004 standard option rates for federal employees, postal employees, and annuitants. You'll also find that we offer low rates on family coverage. Compare for yourself. Call right now to request your free information package on everything the Mail Handler's Benefit Plan standard option has to offer, like PPO benefits that give you the freedom to visit specialists without a referral, and coverage that travels with you even overseas. Along with this freedom comes savings with some exciting benefits for 2004. New next year, you'll pay no deductible for covered generic prescriptions at a network pharmacy. And if you have Medicare Parts A and B as your primary coverage, you pay no deductible for any covered prescription, generic or name brand. Plus, with the First Health Network, you'll have access to doctors and hospitals wherever you live, work, and travel nationwide. I could go on, but I'm running out of time, and so are you. Open season will be over before you know it. So don't miss this opportunity to compare your health plan to the Mail Handler's Benefit Plan standard option.
Call 1-800-777-3963 for this free information package. Find out if the Mail Handler's Benefit Plan standard option is your best option this open season, especially if you have Medicare Parts A and B. All eligible federal and postal employees and annuitants are invited to call 1-800-777-3963. That number again is 1-800-777-3963, or visit MHBP.com.
White Men Can't Jump. Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes star in White Men Can't Jump on Real Classics, hosted by Burt Reynolds, Sunday.
The world premiere of Sports Century Ballet, coming November 6th.
Back here at Yankee Stadium, we go to the 11th inning. Regular season, Arizona 9-6 in extra innings, while the Yankees went 8-8. Rivera, second inning of work, retired the side in order in the 10th. Bautista takes it the other way. O'Neill over to get it. O'Neill up. Bautista thinks about going and doesn't. Wisely so. A leadoff single, though, for Danny Bautista, who came on as a defensive replacement for Gonzalez.
Bautista also got an at-bat last night against Mariano Rivera, and he had some real good swings. He ended up grounding out to Alfonso Soriano to end the game, but nonetheless, very few people have good swings. Bautista had another one right there.
Hold the record books. A hit off Rivera. Record that one. Here's the designated hitter now. Durazo. Then Williams and Finley would be due up. Put yourself in the spot of Brenly and how you play it. This is your DH. 0 for 3 in the game. 3 for 9 in the series. In at third is Brocious. He's thinking bunt. Not there. Broken bat. Bloop. That's going to be trouble. Williams coming. Can't get it. And a base hit for Durazo. And the Diamondbacks have 2 on in the 11th inning with nobody out.
He's pitched many, many times in the World Series, more than one inning to get a save. The save opportunity is not there for him. He's on now trying to pick up another win in that role. And for the first time, he's got some things to be concerned about. I've got to look for a sacrifice bunt here.
Williams has not been hitting at all. 0 for 4 in the game, 3 for 17. You got Finley, the left-handed hitter, to follow Matt Williams. He does not have a sacrifice bunt this year. He does square, and he drops a beauty. Martinez to Soriano. A perfect bunt.
It wouldn't shock me to see another bunt attempt. It's so difficult to get the ball in the air and get it out of the infield off of Mariano Rivera. What a job there by Matt Williams, recognizing a pitch that he could handle. That is the key to begin with. Make sure it's a pitch you like. Even if it's a strike, don't worry about that. Get a pitch that you can handle. Simply catch the baseball with the bat as Matt Williams did. Perfectly executed.
Ray Sanders has not been getting good swings, so they will walk Finley with first base open, load the bases with one down. It gives them a chance for the double play and the ground ball in the infield and a force out anywhere. This will be the third intentional pass issued in this game, 2 off Mussina and now 1 off Mariano Rivera.
Well, I'll guarantee you the contact play will be on for Bob Brenly. If the base is loaded, that takes that out of the picture. They've got to go on a ground ball. That's the reason that the intentional pass is happening here. The speed of Bautista. He figures that Mariano Rivera could have jammed Finley, kept the ball on the ground, but with it being jammed, that's too hard to turn a double play with Bautista coming. Too much pressure. He likes this matchup better, that being Joe Torre.
He is 0 for 2 against Rivera. He has struck out 3 times tonight. He's got the bases loaded, 1 down. 11th inning of a 2-2 game.
They're just pounding in hard with that fastball. Back in '95, when Reggie was with the Cincinnati Reds, he had a big year, a breakout year offensively. But in the postseason against Atlanta, in 13 at-bats, they found the same hole Mariano found there. 13 at-bats, they struck him out 10 times.
1 strike count. Two strike count.
Get ready, Mark Grace.
Boy, the Diamondbacks have not been able to buy a key hit in this series. Sanders asked for timeout. Against Rivera during the year, runners on base, hitters were 235, nobody on, 191. He only gave up 5 home runs. 4 of them came with somebody on base. The 0-2, and that is caught! Caught! Soriano! More Yankee magic.
Terrific play by Soriano, but a great piece of managing by Joe Torre. If he pitches to Finley and Finley hits a ball like this with the infield in, it's gone. 2 runs would have scored. By intentionally walking Finley, he set up the double play. He had the infield back, and Soriano needed to be back, needed every bit of range that he has to be able to come down with that ball. What a play, and what a good job of base running by Arizona.
Mark Grace. Bases loaded, but there are 2 down. Sanders retired again. The Yankees just keep going to that magic well and finding the aura. Strike 2. Bases loaded, 2 down. The 0-2 coming to Mark Grace. Down to third. Forced play, and the inning's over. No runs. It's a base hit. Couple of base hits. Bases are left loaded. Still 2-2.
On the next Real Classics.
White men can't jump.
You can play for love or money.
I know you don't mind hustling.
But sometimes the stakes get too high. Wesley Snipes.
You either smoke or you get smoked.
Woody Harrelson.
I trusted you.
White Men Can't Jump. Plus, find out what it's like to play for the cameras.
It was a job of a lifetime.
White Men Can't Jump is on Real Classics. Hosted by Burt Reynolds. 8 p.m. Sunday. Only on ESPN Classic.
I always said I was going to be playing professional baseball. That's all I ever talked about. The thing that means most to me is I want to be remembered as a Yankee. You either love us or hate us. I enjoy playing at home in front of the greatest fans in the world. And I also enjoy going on the road, people booing us and hating us. The bottom line is when you compete, you want to win. I live for this.
Watch the World Series. Don't miss it.
Over 1 million understand its strength. It can improve your energy, your shape. This is Bowflex Power Rod technology, and it can only be found on genuine Bowflex equipment, like the new Bowflex Extreme. Now you can get the results you want, the exercises you need, all at an affordable price. You've never seen this Bowflex before. Pick up the phone and call the number on your screen now to get a free video or DVD and check out the new Bowflex Extreme. You can have a high-performance body. Just look for real Bowflex Power Rod technology, proven effective at burning fat and building muscle. Now you can own the new Extreme for no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. The Bowflex Extreme is not available in stores. You know you're ready. Let Bowflex help you get there. Call now for a free video or DVD today, because your results matter.
Sterling Hitchcock warming up for the Yankees as he's come out of the bullpen. For Rivera, homers, have they mattered tonight?
Really the only inning Mike Mussina struggled. Gave up a homer to Steve Finley on a changeup, on the breaking ball to Rod Barrage. That was it, and has been it as far as the scoring for Arizona is concerned. One pitch, one mistake with one man on. I don't know what got up quicker, the baseball or Derek Jeter on that home run by Scott Brosius.
Thus we are going to the 12th inning of this game 5, tied at 2-2. Sterling Hitchcock, 30-year-old left-hander. Appeared in game 1, worked 3 innings, struck out 6. Postseason, a couple of runs, 6 hits, and 6 innings worked. Barajas leading it off, the catcher hitting 9th. Then we'll have Womack and Counsell at the top of the order for the Diamondbacks. Off speed.
Hitchcock's got an assortment of off-speed pitches. He's got a splitter. He's got a circle change. That was a little slider down and in. He's got a bigger curveball.
Been in the World Series once before, 98 with San Diego. One appearance this year in the World Series, that game 1. Off the end of the bat, remains a 2-strike count. Diamondbacks catcher single in his first at-bat in this game in the 3rd inning. Home run in the 5th, 2 for 4 in the game. Mussina on the left started this one. Clemens on the right will start a game 7 if there is one. Towards second, Soriano over. 1 down. Arizona had their chance in the 8th inning to put up important runs and did not get it done.
Well, when you get a man to third base with nobody out as they had, and you've got the heart of the lineup coming up. Counsell, the MVP of the NLCS. Gonzalez maybe the MVP of the National League this year. Intentional pass to Durazo. Matt Williams popping up. Unbelievable the missed opportunities here at Yankee Stadium for Arizona.
1 down. Womack, leadoff batter. Then they got another chance in the 11th inning as they were able to load him up with only one away. Reggie Sanders robbed of a hit by Soriano. And an 0-2 count on Womack. 1 for 5 in the game. Sterling Hitchcock coming on, throwing strikes here for the Yankees. Womack reaching, a little punch. Pop fly to left. Spencer will get it. Two down.
You just don't see the swings from Arizona that you see from the Yankees here at this part of the ball game. Every Yankee that comes to home plate's taking 3 of his best swings trying to end the ball game. Arizona needs to be a little bit more aggressive. It's almost like they're back on the heels. They're afraid to try to make something happen.
Craig Counsell has really struggled tonight. Struck out twice, 0 for 5, 1 for 19 now in the World Series.
I'm Counsell, instead of pulling off the pitches, I dive to that outside corner like Jeter does. If it's a fastball in, Hitchcock doesn't throw hard enough to hurt you. For something away. Hook it out of this ballpark.
Inside corner strike. This is the 12th time in World Series history that a World Series game has gone to the 12th inning. Longest World Series game took 14 innings. Counsell waited on it. Wide to center. Ten pitches, 9 for strikes. 1-2-3 inning for Hitchcock. Yankees will get another shot at it. Bottom part of the order due up.
Geico's always been about savings, but he really brought customer service to a whole new level.
We settle a ton of claims in under 48 hours.
Guaranteed claim repairs? That was his idea.
Customer satisfaction is at an all-time high.
You know what he represents? A commitment to excellence.
And he deserves this award.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
I break for yard sales.
I break for little old ladies.
Boys.
UFOs.
I break for free oil changes.
Visit your Midas mechanic now and get a free oil change with any Midas brake job, including our lifetime brake pads or shoes. Guaranteed for as long as you own your car.
Somewhere between where you are and where you're going, there's a Super 8.
I think we're right about here.
See you along the way.
There's a place where the air is fresh, the wind is cool, and the curves are exciting, where all convertibles are turbocharged, and the sun has a very hard time keeping up. The all-new Saab 9-3 convertible. This is the state of independence, and here, convertibles deliver more than just a great view. Welcome. Visit your Saab dealer today.
A short time ago, this woman was limited by her mobility. A month ago, this man wasn't even able to get around his house. These are people who chose freedom over restrictions, independence over limitations. They chose mobility. They chose the scooter store. And this is a team of mobility experts that made it all happen.
Great news. You've been approved for payment.
Dr. Cruz, I'm calling on behalf of Marie Stanford.
And they can make it happen for you. If you're living with limited mobility, call the scooter store today. I promise no other company will work harder to make you mobile or do more to guarantee your total satisfaction.
I expected they'd help me file some paperwork with Medicare and my insurance. I never expected them to be so nice or to work so hard to get me a power chair at no cost to me.
Call today and let the scooter store work for you. If we pre-qualify you for a new scooter or power chair and Medicare denies your claim, the scooter store allows you to keep your scooter or power chair at no cost. That's the scooter store guarantee.
You don't qualify for Medicare? No problem. We'll work with your insurance company, even help with financing. If there's a way, we'll find it.
When they delivered Mom's power chair, I expected they'd show her how to use it once or twice. That man stayed for hours. You can just tell they care.
Whatever it takes, as long as it takes, that's our guarantee.
Why do we go to such great lengths? Because making you mobile is our mission. We'll work with your doctor, we'll work with Medicare and your private insurance. We'll even service your scooter anywhere in the country. So call the Scooter Store today.
Find out what great lengths the Scooter Store will go to for you.
Improve your mobility and your life. Call 1-800-652-5588 for your free, no-obligation information from the Scooter Store. Call to find out if you pre-qualify for a brand new power chair or scooter. That number again is 1-800-652-5588. 1-800-652-5588.
Monday Night Countdown delivered by UPS, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
On the next Real Classics.
White men can't jump.
You can play for love or money.
I know you don't mind hustling.
But sometimes the stakes get too high. Wesley Snipes.
You either smoke or you get smoked.
Woody Harrelson.
I trusted you.
White Men Can't Jump. Plus, find out what it's like to play for the Cavs.
It was a job of a lifetime.
White Men Can't Jump is on Real Classics. Hosted by Burt Reynolds. 8 p.m. Sunday. Only on ESPN Classic. The world premiere of Sports Century Seabiscuit. Coming November 17th.
Oh, the kids are out trick-or-treating last night. Now they're out here, and it's 12:34 in New York. And we're going to the bottom of the 12th inning, and Dad, you got to hold me because I'm tired.
There's no way Dad's going home.
And the bullpen's really being tested, obviously, in this game. Nothing left to smoke in that cigar. 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Arizona, 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 hit, 1 error for the Yankees. Here is Elby Lopez, acquired from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays midway through the season. Lost 19 games combined this year.
Had to be a major disappointment for Arizona. Looking back on it, instead of acquiring him to try to fill one of the starting rotation spots, in hindsight, they probably should have gone for some bullpen help. There were some closers available out there. Todd Jones was one of them.
That a broken bat, base hit by Chuck Knobloch. He gets out of the over in the World Series with a leadoff single here in the 12th inning.
Well, the easy thing to do here is to put on the sacrifice bunt. But one thing you can do on Lopez is run, run, run. Very slow and deliberate to home plate. Believe me, if I know that, these Yankees advanced scouts have picked that up a long time ago. Knobloch with good speed. A couple of options for Joe Torre.
Lopez on for Morgan, who went 2 1/3 solid innings. Brocious bunting foul. Trying to sacrifice him down. One run is all the Yankees need to take a 3-2 lead in this series.
Look at that leg kick there. Not even close to a sidestep there. You try to get the ball to home plate at least under 2 seconds to give the catcher a chance. That's well over 2 seconds in that time.
These Yankee hitters have seen a lot of Lopez over the years in the American League. See if Brocious is going to bunt again. Williams has moved in at third base. Knobloch coming on as a pinch runner. Couple of at-bats. Picking up a base hit after he'd been 1 for 24 prior to this single in the inning. Brocious squares the 0-1, bunted, and a good one. Grace will tag him. Sacrifice.
A long time ago, but I think in our pregame meeting with Bob Brindley, we asked him about Elby Lopez, and he just kind of shook his head as if to say, if he's in this ball game, we're in a lot of trouble. Well, you are, because the winning run is standing on second base.
The 5th pitcher used by the Diamondbacks tonight. Number 9 hitter Alfonso Soriano. His single came in the 3rd inning. Runner at second. Could win it. Good stop made. Barajas keeping that ball in front.
Lopez has just been so inconsistent this year. The book on him is that he's afraid to come in to right-handed hitters. Everything thus far we've seen to the first 3 right hitters this inning has been away. They know that.
Potential winning run in Knobloch at second base. Soriano, 1-0 delivery to him. Up high, 2-0. Soriano 2 for 4 with a home run. Off Lopez, O'Neill pacing. He could get an at-bat. Delivery. Diamondbacks are not doing anything to hold Knobloch at second base. The way they defend Soriano, they spread the shortstop and the second baseman away from the bag. So Knobloch can really get a good jump at second on the pitch.
And you've got the perfect situation at home plate, that being a right-handed hitter at home plate, blocking the view and the throw to third base for the catcher.
2-ball, 1-strike count on Soriano. Lopez. 2-1 delivery. Soriano has got a base hit to right field. Sanders, they're waving him home. Here comes Knobloch. Here's the throw to the plate. The Yankees win it. They did it again. Unbelievable. 3-2 in the 12th inning.
Couple of guys that didn't expect to be a factor in the game tonight. Chuck Knobloch led off the inning with a base hit. He was standing at second base with Albie Lopez on the mound. One guy that did know he was going to be in the ball game. He has performed with a game-winning hit in the last at bat of a game was Alfonso Soriano. He comes through again. About location. Barajas was sitting on the inside part of the plate. The ball was on the outer half. The kid extended. Knobloch scored. Yankees win again.
Chuck Knobloch, Willie Randolph waved him all the way. Potential play at the plate. The ball short hop. Barajas, the catcher, and went by him. Paul O'Neill's last game at Yankee Stadium is going to be retiring over there to celebrate. Yankees trying to figure out who to go get. The guy who scored or the guy who drove him in.
Don't forget to give Scott Brocious a pat on the back either.
New York has now won 10 consecutive World Series games here at Yankee Stadium. This one 3-2. It is their third straight one-run ball game in the W column. Hitchcock's 1-0, working one inning here tonight. 2 pitchers can't stop the dynasty.
White Men Can't Jump on Real Classics, hosted by Burt Reynolds. Sunday.
1982. It was a year of heart-stopping moments. For better and for worse. It was a year when movie fans cheered a hero from outer space, while a football team made a play that was out of this world.
There's so many people on the field, I can't even see who's got the ball. We went from being in a bowl game to being out of one in about 10 seconds.
A year when doctors first saved lives with an artificial heart. While a guy named Joe showed what a player with heart could do.
We had the ultimate comeback quarterback.
Montana rolling out the right.
Joe pumped and the big guy jumped.
A year when a newspaper opened a new era of
Has been very aggressive, and he's got a chance for a three-point play.
Stephon is really handling his cousin easily. He's making it look easy. Of course, it isn't. He's so fast. He can change his pace so quickly, and he's so physically strong going to the basket. This is quite an early announcement Stephon is making in this game.
Analytics back up by 3. We've seen a lot more full court pressure. This has been token, but the Knicks have extended their defense quite a bit more this season, as opposed to laying back. Oh, Telfair, pretty crossover inside. Shot won't go, but a foul. As Brisbilla will go, Marbury commits his first.
The statement can stop on a dime. I think we just saw that with Telfair. Change of pace. Awareness of who's around him to get them the ball. I'm surprised, Mike, at how well he has adjusted to the NBA, coming directly out of high school, where he was a superstar here in New York, all-time scorer.
Led Lincoln to a state title, 3 PSAL titles. He's only 6 feet.
Spectacular career. And halfway through the season last year in his rookie year, he started getting a lot of playing time. And he's got that point guard role now for this franchise. A little zone defense now by Portland.
He's one of 4 players on the Blazers roster from high school to the NBA. They, again, a very, very young team. Curry, nice move, stripped but fouled. Nope, they're going to call a travel before the foul. Knicks turn it over for the second time.
Well, Eddie Curry showing some versatility, going left-handed. How many guys his size can start a move and dribble the ball left-handed going to the basket? Not many.
He did take the extra step on that. Boy, Antonio Davis really playing aggressively defensively. Shot clock at 7. Telfair knocks down a 3. He's coming off the season-high 20 points in their loss on Friday to Golden State. Blazers, the worst three-point shooting team early on in the season. Again, some of the numbers take with a grain of salt. It's still early. But they've been very poor from three-point range, yet they're 2 for 2 today. And Rose can't hit.
Rose is getting more shots than he normally does early in the game.
Just past the midway point, opening quarter. There's Randolph. And boy, what a soft touch. It's his second field goal.
Curry made an effort, too, to contest that shot, but Randolph didn't need much room.
Crawford looks up at the shot clock, sees he has plenty of time. Rose taking another shot. Nice pass inside. Curry with the finish.
You know, you see a pass like that by Rose, you know, Larry Brown wants to go out and hug him for that. It's just such a nice pass, and so important to get the big man the ball.
He had an open shot with the extra pass, and obviously you get a higher percentage shot. Boy, Telfair takes it hard to the glass, and he draws a foul. He's going to go